that do not fall exclusively within the scope of any other standing committee, and also that anything that we advise to the council or to the mayor is non-binding. We don't vote on those things. We simply vote to say, should we bring this then to the council? And then we will do so. And of course, transparency is a priority for us as well. So we welcome everyone who is on Zoom. We have four participants, and we thank you for being here. So that is our guiding principles. And does anyone have any questions or comments about those?
I just wanted to talk about a little more on guiding principles. So we had basically what you gave us, what you sent out last night, that was supposed that we would adhere to. And I just felt like when we were putting those together, that we as a committee, there's so much disharmony, and I've never seen Sky Valley so divided, and I've been seeing it really divided even like 8 years ago. But I thought if we had a couple of things that we would look like, we act with integrity, we transparent, and we communicate openly, honestly, we collaborate effectively with people we agree with and people we don't agree with. I think it's really important that we do that. And we listen to ourselves and our constituents, and that's why I was happy when you said go ahead and send that out last night. So thank you.
Yes.
And I think that we shouldn't let stuff sit. Part of the problem, and maybe it's a good thing, that the sewage tank dragged on and dragged on and dragged on. But if I think we should produce results that matter with speed and agility. We should not let something just sit around. Well, we're going to get to it. We're going to get to it. We either take action and make a recommendation, or we take it off our plate and go on to something else. I don't think we should just let something just sit. That's what I.
And well said. And that is a great segue into my second point about the upcoming, well, we have the upcoming dates listed there for you, but I'll mention those in a minute. But when we put this agenda together, or as I gathered the agenda from all of you that were on the committee, or from residents that I heard from myself, I will continue to compile an agenda based on what our residents share with us, full-time and part-time residents share with us, and say, gosh, we sure wish somebody would talk about this or would have the discussion. Again, emphasize having the discussion, not making major decisions. So, or making any decisions other than to bring something to the council for them to make a decision on. So well said, Rudy, and with good hearts, good intentions, for sure, we will pave that road the right way, which is open communications, and like you said, sending this out to the community, which we have done according to guidelines, and sending out to them any, soliciting from our residents, come and talk to us, come and share with us what you want us to talk about. We are the advisory committee, so we can pretty much touch on anything that the concerned citizens want us to do. The upcoming dates are listed there, but for our listeners, we have one scheduled for June 24th, one scheduled for September 23rd, and one scheduled for November 4th. They're all at 2 p.m. And I believe they're all on a Thursday, but don't hold me to that because I didn't happen to write that down. But those are the dates. However, we can call more meetings as an advisory committee if we want to do that. So we can certainly do that. The next thing on the agenda is something that was brought to us by our own mayor, as well as brought to her through other residents, and that was the city's welcome signage. You see the sign really behind me here in the city hall as well, with the elevation number of 3297 on that. We would love to consider or talk about and hear from you all about a new sign. Jason and Benita may have some thoughts on that as well. Please chime in. But our highest point, if I'm not incorrect, is 4,200.
That's right.
And we say we are, what's our slogan?
Georgia's highest and coolest city.
Amen.
So if we're the highest and coolest city, 3297 is not the highest point in Georgia.
That's right.
4,200.
See, that's
3297 is where?
I've always wondered.
I'm
that.
gonna guess that's the valley maybe, or the city, or
The
even.
valley, I think, is 3180 or
Oh, maybe.
90,
It might be
3197.
City Hall. It might be
Oh,
City
you know,
Hall.
City
I
Hall,
have
we're
an
at like
app.
2990 here, I think.
Let me see
Um,
what it says.
But I think you really could market it a lot higher.
Me
Let me
too.
look
Up
at
at
my
the-
I think you could
app.
just get, I mean, the Highlands model is just take the highest,
Yeah.
point in the city and call it that. and
Okay,
They
my
call it the average.
elevation app, which is, I found to be very,
It is, I love it.
yeah,
It's
it is,
amazing.
it says 2986 right here.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
if there's an elevation app, I want to download that.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
called
yes.
My Elevation. Yeah, and we travel so much in the mountains, we used it out west too. and
Maybe
it
Maybe
names-
right at the line here is
it names
3,000. At the Raven,
Oh,
North
there you
Carolina,
go.
Georgia,
That makes
so as
sense.
soon as you hit that, you're like,
10 more
I'm on
feet
the
in.
plateau.
Yeah, 15 more feet,
If
and we're
if
there. Yeah,
anybody
yeah.
wants to know where that highest section is, it's gonna be up around Bayberry.
I would think it's way up,
Out
yeah.
there,
Okay.
or the tower at Alex Mountain.
And you're
So-
saying, you're saying we're over 4,000?
4,200.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I think we need to take
Brag about it.
advantage of that.
I think
I
we
think that's
do.
great.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, a great example is look at Beach Mountain, North Carolina. They took like a 2-inch by 2-inch, and not really, but a very small section. And they went and made it where it would be higher than Highlands, municipality east of the Mississippi. So we really should do that here because,
Yeah.
I mean, as the mayor so illustriously said, we are the highest and coolest city in the state.
Yeah.
May as well be,
We have t-shirts that say that.
I want one.
All right.
I don't know where that number came from. That question's been asked before.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't know.
4,200,
Before
that's
our
what it needs
time.
to be.
I
Before our
think we
time.
make an official
So-
resolution on that.
Yes.
Perfect.
yes.
Let's make a motion. I'll make a motion that we change the elevation to what our actual highest elevation is.
I second that.
Okay, and
And we,
what other
and we replace
discussion?
the signs to reflect that. That's part of
Amen.
the motion.
And then at some point, maybe redo this logo too, but that's another discussion.
Right, and we can
but-
certainly make that, so
Yeah.
I would say as part of the discussion, I would say that we're gonna make that recommendation to the council
Yes.
that they consider making, and we can make that a specific request that they consider changing the sign and changing the elevation that comes in, because isn't it basically the same sign here, Jason, that's out at the road, this logo right
It
here?
is, and those signs were custom made, so.
Yeah, they're expensive.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
very
you're the
expensive
sign
to-
business.
I know
that.
they're
You know, I
expensive.
was so,
Yeah, so they're expensive, but doesn't mean we can't do it. So we can make that recommendation. Any other
And
discussion?
even if they didn't change the logo, they could even put an overlay, there might be some hack to, putting something over it with the other number that you
Yeah.
balance on the other side. I mean, you never know, and if you need any data about the elevation stuff, I've done some research on that I could feed you at some point,
Yeah,
but it's,
okay.
I think it would be good.
Let's verify. Can I ask that we assign to you during this discussion period of the motion to maybe get that definitive?
Yeah, I'll go up there and measure it at the high, because we know it's 4,200, but or at least do like a Google Earth reference,
Yes.
like on the geodetic survey that actually pins it.
And
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
4,200
Yeah.
and
Cause it might be
might be even
4,201 or, that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking, it need not be,
more.
Right.
yeah. Like, look at, you go to Cashers, 3486, it's the specific,
I'm just looking,
There's
welcome other
two
people who have joined us.
Specific places you
Yes.
probably know. One is where the T-Mobile tower is, at the top of you go Wildbird,
Mhm.
that's the high spot. And
I
then
have a
Bayberry.
lot on that street, yeah.
Bayberry, yeah.
The grass, that was supposed to be a ski run, that just never got paved. Well, once, cause you had Carlos Cellar Lane adjacent to it that was made Wild Bird Way.
Yeah.
And where's the other one? Sorry,
Well, babe, if you go.
on the other side of
You take
Alex.
Knob Drive past the compactor, you pass Alex Mountain, and you go Bayberry and just go all the way up. There's actually a house up there. Very top.
Beautiful up there.
Yeah, we have a water tank up
A
there.
lot of dynamiting went on up there at one
Yeah,
point.
there's a lot of rock. Oh, yeah, they had to take a lot of rock out.
Okay, so we have a motion on the table. It's been seconded that we take our recommendation for new signage for the city with Google Earth confirming our actual elevation in that signage. And we've had discussion. All those in favor?
I,
Aye.
Who made that motion?
I did.
Okay,
Rudy did.
I'm trying to help.
And Nelson seconded it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And, any opposed? All right, we'll make that recommendation. Yay.
All right.
One down. Okay. Now, our next, number 7, we're gonna have a discussion about the septic to sewer update and the results from our work sessions and beyond. As you know, there's, another vote today just to confirm, and for the council to, make a definitive, in the record decision on the septic to sewer and whether or not that will pass. Looks like it will not, but you never know, but we're gonna be doing that at 3 o'clock today. Are there any other discussions on that anyone wants to share on this committee? Yes, ma'am.
I think via
Kelsey.
the email you had, I don't know if you want his name stated or not, but I think it would be really important, the stuff that you stated at the last meeting, why you guys chose not to do a needs assessment. I've heard a lot of people, whether they're pro or against the sewer, very upset about not completing a needs assessment. And I understand, because I've heard of all of the things you guys learned about at your newly elected officials training. But I think an email to the entire city with those 3 states, the year they started their sewer, the cost they're at now, and what it's done, or all the examples, even federally, people are advising against it. Just something very short, because I think if something's long, no one's gonna read it. But if there's a few bullet points of why you guys chose not to do the needs assessment, I think maybe that would put a lot of people more at peace.
Mm-hmm. Good
And
suggestion.
I also, on this topic, I still have heartburn. Why would we wanna, especially when I did some research, why would we wanna take on the expense of maintaining something, even if the grant paid 100% for it? I was looking at the maintenance cost for these, minimum was like $170-something thousand a year.
A year.
And then it goes up to like $1.5 million. Well, so that's things they need to know. But so
Yes.
why would the city take on that expense? But when it's private property, and it just doesn't make sense that we would do this when we're not doing it for everybody else.
Right.
Well, I did mention this earlier to some of you that I reached out to the Clayton Tribune because I was explaining to them the reason for today's additional vote. And I got a commitment from the publisher to have an op-ed in the paper next week.
Awesome.
And so we will explain what happened and how, and remove that myth that we are going to be penalized for
That's another thing.
Return.
Oh, yeah.
for turning down the grants. So, yeah, I'll have a comprehensive op-ed in next week's paper, and I will share that citywide, and I'll have Sharon, our communication specialist, share that with everybody as well. And I will have everyone's buy-in before I send it off.
Sure,
Just so you know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good information. So, I'm not thinking there's any action we need to take there as far as what we'll take. We have Benita here. Sounds like you've heard that enough, Benita, that you're going to, look at that op-ed as an option for us. But is anyone thinking there's any recommendation we need to make beyond?
I think I would like us to endorse what the city council did. That we could, if, we have to vote among ourselves, I don't know how you guys all feel, but I believe that the advisory board should endorse the vote that you guys did and that you guys are gonna do.
I second
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Okay, so make it as a formal motion for me, Rudy?
I'm making a motion that the citizen advisory board endorse the vote that the city council had earlier this week concerning the sewage, septic to sewage.
Reclaiming the grants.
Yes.
Yeah, I second that.
The grants, yes,
Okay. Second.
so I make a motion that we endorse that.
Okay. Any discussion?
Am I able to?
Yeah.
I don't know what the rules are. Am I able to say anything?
I think you are.
Discussion or not?
Yes,
It's-
yes, you're here. People on Zoom too. Yes.
I only wanted to sort of tag on to what everyone else has said, and I'm gonna defer to Jason on this to maybe verify. From what I understand, is that the needs assessment is such a ball of fire right now on Facebook. I didn't do Facebook, but somebody sent it to me. And they're saying that the mayor ran on, we're gonna do a needs but not only the mayor, but all of the people running said that they were gonna do that. That's not so. That was Benita. She doesn't get a vote. Your independent council people, your research from that point, from last summer forward, has verified, Rudy, you said it, about the maintenance costs are horrendous. The EPA states that it is the responsibility of private parties to maintain, repair their own systems. It's not the responsibility, if you look up the definition of municipality, it's not the municipality's responsibility to go in and save these people. It's not it. So that's, but also, and what I was getting to before, Jason, is the fact that if in fact you go back and do a needs study now, it's very possible that you nullify and void those grants because you can't, you got the grants, the GFIT and the ARC grant based on certain criteria. You can't now go back and say, oh, wait a second, because we didn't do a needs study, maybe we're gonna do this and maybe this is why we need, you can't do that. That would nullify the grant. That's my understanding.
And make them not happy with
I
us.
can add some comments to that. The ARC grant, which was applied for by the prior council, ARC is very specific about what, we basically stated that we were shovel ready for the most part. And so when the new council wanted to do the needs assessment, and we had those conversations with ARC, it became, wait a minute, this is not part of the narrative, this is not part of the grant. So whoever's seeing this, I wanna make sure they understand that. And that, so you are putting yourself into a non-compliant status because that was never part of the narrative, the scope of work. And then they stated that there's a specific timeline that we agreed to. This is, that is gonna take us off that timeline. So there's another compliance issue there. Another issue is that, as you touched on, if that assessment came back and it was something that was contrary to the original intent, then that brings another issue. So, again, it kind of put this elected body in a situation where, what do you do? So I think that's important for people to know about why the issue of the needs assessment came up, or the issues with trying to do the needs assessment.
And
So,
why it was voted against by the 3 council people who have now done the research. And it,
yeah.
contrary to Facebook and these 4 or 5 people who are condemning everybody to hell and back, that you are looking out for the city. You do not want to jeopardize what we've got now and go forward and bankrupt the city. I mean, that's basically, if you read all the literature, it says small towns, A, are not gonna die if you don't do a sewer. And B, you might die if you do the sewer because you can't afford it. So I feel like that has to be said, and to stand up for all of you, but I think your endorsement of this is a good thing, and I hope that the people that are the condemnation experts are listening to this meeting, because you're right on target.
It really would bankrupt the city.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and,
Totally.
and I just circle back to my original statement. I think like a 1-page email no longer that goes out from Sharon or you or whoever
Or
to the entire city that states why the council chose not to do it, the cost of sewer systems with the other small town cities, you know, those kinds of things.
Right,
Just
and-
education.
And I think that's great coming from anybody here, but I think it really needs to come the statement from you, because I think,
So
yeah, just because it adds such weight to it, because it's.
So the motion on the floor is for us to recommend to the council that, or let the council know that
Endorse.
we're gonna endorse
Endorse.
as a committee, we're endorsing the decision to not reclaim, what's the word?
Rescind.
Rescind the 2 grants, that we endorse that, and it's been seconded. We've had some discussion. Is there any other discussion?
And if I may add, I appreciate that, and you know that it will not be at this meeting coming up because this is a special board meeting with one item and no public comment. We're voting on the same two things that we voted
Okay.
on Monday.
And we can,
So, but if you have it on record, I'd appreciate
That's
it
what
at
we'll
the
do.
next meeting.
we'll do that at the next meeting. Okay, thank you for that clarification. All right, then I would like to propose that we just vote on this as a committee to endorse and.
Aye.
All those in
Aye.
favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right. Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, a community center. I'm gonna, again, throw this by Benita. I know at one point she looked into this. Are you comfortable sharing
Oh,
what
absolutely.
that idea is? And we'll discuss the idea.
It's an idea, and
Uh-huh.
this is not one of the council priorities yet. Obviously, we have water, wells, and sewer that we've been discussing. But going forward, and Jason and I had talked about this soon after I was elected, is the two lots at the front of at the entrance, next to the entrance, would make a great community center spot. And right now we have the church, we have the chapel, and we have the pavilions, and we remember some severe thunderstorms during campaigns. And we have the country club. Now, the country club is private. The country club will not allow anything political. The country club will not allow anything by folks who are not members. And as a community, we need to find alternatives for our residents, those who aren't up here long enough to belong to the country club, who can't afford to belong to the country club, who have grandkids who are coming through the summer or whatever it is. We need somewhere for them to go. And so Jason and I had talked about since the city owns those lots already, the possibility of looking at how to use some SPLOST money to move forward with a community center. Now, the other thing that I said when I mentioned that was that we have a lot of folks who love that building over there in the
Right.
picture.
That's right. That's right.
And they would love to see that preserved. That is not our building. That is Merrill's
Merrill's.
property, number one. It's in terrible shape. But if we have something in our community center that memorializes that, if we can persuade Merrill to give us some of the siding so that we have a backdrop in this community center and some pictures, a museum type exhibit of the history of our city, and perhaps find somebody who can do an AI image or AI visualization of imitating the roof pitches, for example, so that we have something like that memorializing it. We have parking, we have somewhere where people can go and have a ping pong game or
Trivia night.
a quilting or trivia night or something like that, you know?
So my concern was, excuse me, when you said we have two lots towards the entrance, where
Yeah,
would parking be? Where would
It
park
would be, it's a sloping, it's a sloping lot. So what we would do is build like that and perhaps under and
Degrade it.
behind.
Oh, cool.
This is the lot
That-
that's parking now, sorry.
It's not.
But
parking.
but is it
It's
adjacent?
on the other side.
It's on
Okay.
the other
It's on
side.
the
It's
other
just
corner.
grass.
So it's
Got
on the
it.
left side?
Yeah, there's, next to it
Yes.
is Mr. Ronnie Mateo's lot, I believe. Is that correct, Jason?
Yes.
The best way is you head back into the entrance. The blue house that just got built right there, kind of across from Poss, on the left.
Right.
The very blue house is fairly new. Back about 3 years ago, the city surplus several lots. Those properties were strategically kept. There's actually two lots, it's about 1.1 acres, like a 7/10 of an acre lot, a 4/10 of an acre lot. And it's in that curve right there. It is a little bit of upslope.
So it's before you turn into main entrance.
It is, it's on your
Okay.
left, it's on your left.
Okay,
It's-
Yeah,
that's
as
where I
you
was
turn
getting.
It shares a border with that blue house
Okay.
that just got built.
Got it.
And then, the gentleman, I can't think of his name, he works for the club. His house is directly, if you are leaving the main part of the resort area, the house is right there, it'd be on the right, it's a wooded area, it's in the curve. But it is across from the parking where the POS is.
And do those, are they, do they connect?
Yeah, those lots are adjacent.
They're
Okay.
adjacent.
Yeah.
Got it.
And so that is something future thinking, but, you know, we're talking about offering the council advice on how to find more opportunities and to look at how we can spend that SPOST money to benefit the entire community. The special purpose local option sales tax. We can get grants as well to help with that. Jason's working on a great grant right now. Dog park.
Yeah, we multitasking here. We actually have applied for a dog park. The city owns some property, if you know where the firehouse is, as soon as you turn into the entrance, means you turn right, the firehouse right there. There is a lot that we own. It's kind of steep, but dogs probably don't care. You know, we could fence that, put some runs in there, and we applied for that, and then we've also applied for a grant to do some landscaping updates and renovations around the pickleball court area. So we hope those are called micro grants. I think they're like $12,000 each. But certainly, whether we go for big grants or small grants, it's always good to go for them. So
Since you're talking about grants, I do have a question. So a year ago in October, it cost me like $200 to replace my water line. They had to go into my driveway. The guy that did it was the guy that Jerry and these guys recommended, and he was really good. But he told me that the city water lines aren't up to code. And I see all the time that, I mean, the water lines, there's always something wrong with them. Could we look for a grant for that?
we're actually gonna be applying for the plan is to apply for an ARC grant. Now, that grant's gonna be to build the well, but there are some grants out there. And I'm just gonna be honest with you, a lot of these grants that are out there, the level of affluence that the city has, a
Therefore,
lot of them are
Not
It's
affluent.
Needs based.
income based.
Distress
Yeah, I think I might be saying that wrong.
That's not affluence, it's affluent.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Therefore,
That's my
community.
southern drawl coming up. But, like community development block grants, things like that. Those grants can be a challenge to get a lot of times, but we're always looking for grants. But I would like to say, and I'm gonna knock on wood here, but, a lot of the things that we have done lately with the water department, as you noticed, I don't want to say the word, but we haven't had the B word that ends with a K for a while. I'd say it's been probably 6 months at least. And that's been a lot of investment with CBF. A lot of, as far as compliance, I mean, we are complying in that we have our Environmental Protection Division permit to withdraw water, so that as far as pipe in the ground, some of that pipe's been in the ground for 50 years, but I will say this, as it breaks, we replace it, and we even go a little further, but it's that thin wall pipe that's in the
yes,
ground.
that's what he was telling me.
And, as far as the cost of, as far as digging that out, sometimes you can cause more problems. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess, as the saying goes, but we are proactive. If a 20-foot section breaks, if we can go in and dig out another 20 feet and take that old pipe out and add 20 feet, we do it. So, but yeah, the stuff's been in the ground a long time.
No breaks in 0-degree weather. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
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 no.
this year, yeah, you're right.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for that, Jason, we appreciate it. So, the community center idea, I think we need to keep developing it.
Mhm.
Does anyone want to volunteer, either online folks or our committee, to dig into that a little bit more? And, you can go online to the Raven County Tax Assessor spot, and we can look at those lots, and, we can start digging into this, but I think we have to dig into it more. And maybe even assign someone to look at that if anyone rises up to do that. Do I have anybody taking me up on that? I'm looking at the Zoom people too, see if anybody, if not, that's okay.
You're talking about, we're talking about the last item down here,
Yeah.
5-10-year plan. I think we should make something like that part of our 5-year plan.
Yeah, good suggestion.
I'm happy to lend a hand and look into that some, if somebody
Okay.
else wants to.
All right,
tag
me
along.
too.
I'm just not a
So-
design guy.
If I may add a couple of things that I thought about on that. One was going to be naming rights for that building. We have some really important people who lived around here, so perhaps we could get sponsorship for that building as far as naming rights. And the other would have been a brick campaign as well. for the
Yeah,
front.
great idea.
Because so many people have so many great memories about hanging out at the ski lodge. If
True.
we have something memorializing the ski lodge and reach out to those folks who want, who remember skiing there, hanging out in the Bear Lodge and all of that, the bear pole, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
the bear pole.
Bear
It's
pole.
just a big carved.
Yeah,
pole, yeah. It's lovely.
that would be really great, and maybe
Okay.
we could get Harrison Merrill to name it after his dad.
Yeah, well, now, let me say something, how you message this is gonna be very important,
Yes.
because you don't want, I can just think right away, people, and I'm a member of the club, I'm a founder,
So.
but people that are club member, they're gonna say, well, they're trying to take away from the club, so we need to message this,
Right.
that
And-
message is gonna be
Yeah.
important.
Absolutely.
And it's important to note along that same line is that we are in infant, we're not even out of the womb with this. So
Yeah.
we, Nelson, and I'll be happy to assist you. We can
Yeah,
kind of
perfect.
tackle
Let's do
together
it.
and start looking into things.
Yeah.
But being part of a 5-year plan to look into this and
Yeah.
keep digging deeper and deeper, even beyond, maybe our service time. But we can keep working on it because I plan on living here a long time.
Yes.
But continue to look at that. And again, we're recommending, we're not making the decision. So no decisions are being made here to move forward with the community center. It is a discussion. And now it looks like we've got Nelson, myself, and maybe others. You can
Mhm.
contact Nelson or contact me and let me
can
know.
help with
I would
research,
love.
But I'm not creative, like,
Gotcha.
I just don't have that, so
And
I
I
can't.
can too.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
thank you, Gail, thank
Wonderful.
you. And the other thing about that is we have very talented people who are architects and who are, who
Yeah.
can lend their services, even retired folks,
Full gamut.
whatever. Right, so there's a lot we can gain here to help with funding as well. It's just a neat idea that needed to be discussed. So thank you, Mayor, for bringing it to our attention. Thank you, Jason, for dog park and looking at, and even beyond that, the water line explanation. We appreciate that. So
One
we'll
quick
just-
small thought, sorry, I was just thinking, at the club, you have that nice history wall. You could almost even reproduce some of that and have that there too, to the mayor's point, which I think is great. And you could even do like a wall of some of the notable residents that's lived here. I mean, you have former governor, I believe, former president of Florida State University, from what I've been told. Different, just interesting people that really bring a panache to this community, showing, the magic of it.
exactly,
you know.
exactly, and it is magical.
Yeah.
I
We could do a
agree.
landscape fund too. You could say we're
Yes.
doing, you could have a memorial
Trees.
garden and people could
Yes.
donate trees, like at my husband's.
Yeah,
So many.
in memory of certain
Yes.
people.
And he died, and I could say, okay, some of the architects will say, we need 2, Douglas firs or whatever they have. Would you like to donate on behalf of Glenn? And you could have a little plot, anyway,
That
you
is
could do the
wonderful.
whole landscape
I
and
guarantee,
not cost the city any money.
Yes.
I guarantee you'd have people probably, people already do it,
Collaborate.
putting ashes out of their loved ones who this was their happy place.
Yes.
So I think that's brilliant.
And I've
Yeah.
seen ashes somewhere, I have to look it up from when he died, that there was a brick where this company puts the
Yes,
ashes
they
in the
do.
brick, and then you have the name, like the brick haven outside behind the club,
Uh-huh.
which we have several bricks with our name on them, because that's what you do.
Glass brick,
Anyway,
there's,
so you
yeah.
put
Yeah,
the
there's
ashes
diamond
inside
rings
the
you've been
brick
getting
and
out
put
too
that-
with carbon.
It's, so there's
Grandma's in a ring.
a bunch of ideas.
It is. You're right, you're right. Well, I appreciate all these thoughts, and it's exciting to think we can bring this together as a committee and get it launched and pull it together. So thank you. I don't think there's any action we need to take on that one, but I need to apologize that I skipped over item 8, which was the marketing committee mission statement and goals recommendation. That was put on there. I might have even been a part of that too, on our agenda, because we were going to recommend to the marketing committee to create a mission statement their goals and their actionables for achieving those goals, and then also how they're going to report how they, how they've done at year end or what have you. I know the marketing committee met this morning, so was there anything regarding that kind of discussion at the marketing?
They closed out the meeting with a discussion, I think coming back the next meeting in April, to try to fine tune some actual goals and objectives.
Good.
As well as a mission statement. So yeah, that was passed with them, and they hope to have something by next meeting.
Okay, and for what it's worth, I also want to be open that I mentioned at the end of one of our regular meetings to Gordon that I actually used to train management on how to set goals, how to create actionables, and then how to report results. So I can be helpful if anyone hears from Gordon or wants to tell him that again. I can maybe be helpful to them in creating that. I kind of created 3 goals for them while we were talking at the last committee, while Gordon was sharing with us, because that seems to be something that the people really want them to do now. So, okay. Any other discussion about the marketing goals? And
Is that the same group of people that was on the marketing committee from the prior mayoral administration, or is it a new group?
yes and no,
The
it's a new
core people are
group
still
of people,
Okay.
but some of the core people are still there, right? Gordon is
Got it.
still there.
Gordon's, yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Got it. I just didn't know because you were gonna put the new names on the website, if those were new names to go on with it. with the
Yes.
old
There
ones.
would be, because
Yes, the new names will go on there. Good point.
they're pretty
There's a
much,
couple-
it's pretty much the same group.
Got it.
But, it does need updating.
Who's new to the marketing committee?
I had them written somewhere, but I don't think I
Yes.
have them written here. Do
Gra-
I?
I think, Grace Kiss, I believe Ms. Kiss was added.
Have it in front of me.
I don't either.
I was
I
just
have
curious.
it, but-
Yeah.
No, that's okay. But it did bring up some discussion this week about needing to update our website
Yeah,
with
we
all
had
the
talked about
committees
that.
names. So now that the committees are in place, we'll,
Yes.
Benita has told us that we're gonna get.
And
that
that's
done.
something we can get Sharon to do, she can.
Yeah, Sharon, that's who it was.
Sharon is not here
Yeah.
today. Sharon is on the committee, the marketing committee, as well as an ex officio.
Okay, then she knows to do that, yeah. Perfect. Okay, anything else on number 8 then? Moving right along, we can go to number 10, recycling alternatives, ideas and benchmarks regarding this. So anyone want to open up that discussion?
Jason, you want to talk about?
We actually, we had a planning retreat, Monday. It was an opportunity for the council to kind of have conversation with each other, to interact with the staff. Where our work session is more immediate, which you're gonna be seeing in the next 30 days or so. Planning retreat's kind of a 6-month, 12-month kind of thing, and even though I think the intent is to not take this issue that far out, but it was discussed. We had Commissioner Warner, who has been very passionate about recycling as far as Raby, the Raby County Commissioner. And he talked about some of the challenges that the county's having. We discussed some of the challenges and concerns that we have. No decision was made, but certainly, like anything, as you begin having these conversations and start coming up with solutions and options. But I think it was a productive meeting, and we're anything else you want to?
Well, I think that the most important thing that came out of that to me was the fact that the commissioners said that they are working on raising rates to where they do not have to put to more of a break-even point. And that last year, Raven County had to put $980,000 into their trash and recycling account.
Wow.
So that's how much of a loss they're operating at, and they've raised the rates already, and they're going to raise them again. That's his goal, and that's why he's running. And which means that we would be operating in this city at even more of a loss if we're still using the landfill we use. And so, yeah,
So, well, I have a question.
yes.
So we have, cause I go and I drop stuff off at whatever they call that, Reap Center.
Mhm.
Yeah, I do.
How much money would we save everybody goes to Clayton probably every week or twice a week. How much money would we save if the city save if we just had people tell, hey, just go down there and drop your stuff off there? A lot of us do it anyway already. So have anybody looked at that? How much we would
And
save?
that's already supposed to be for Raven County residents, because they're supposed to verify the name of the county on the back of the plate when you go in.
Well, I go in Pinellas County and they never.
Yeah, and,
Well, I
one
think
of the things
numbers
that came out, one of the things that came out is that
They've
they do
looked at
not
driver's
actually
license.
fine anybody
Oh,
or actually enforce that you have to be from
I
the
see.
state of Georgia to, or Raven County to use the Raven County landfill, which is one of the problems they had. Their landfill was filling up really fast because they had one of the lowest rates in the area. And so people from North Carolina, construction companies and dumpsters from North Carolina and from Union County, I think that's it, or was it Havisham?
Other counties and
Were
other
coming
states.
into Raven to drop it because it was $45 a ton here, and it was $70 a ton in Havisham and $75 a ton in Macon County up the
Yep.
road.
That's right.
So they've raised their rates now to $70 a ton.
But they can just have you show a utility bill.
Yeah.
I mean,
Driver's license,
Yeah.
first time we.
Because
went
my
there.
driver's license
Years
says
ago.
Florida, but I can show them a utility bill.
But no,
That's
they do
Oh,
not
that's true.
enforce
We could show
that.
them
I think
drivers.
it's a personnel issue. I mean,
Got
you've seen the old gentleman who's down at the
Yeah,
recycling
yeah.
center. So I think that's the issue, but I mean, bottom line is we are going to have to do something about our trash rates.
Eventually.
And a lot of that is going to be dependent on what Raven does. Again,
Mhm. It
how
will be.
high our rates are going to have to go up, and
So our current, Rabun County, what is he called? What is his actual title? The man that came.
that is Raven County Commissioner.
He's a
from the Board of
commissioner.
Commission.
And what is his name?
Kent Warner.
Kent Warner,
That's right.
whose son plays for the Atlanta
So-
Falcons.
So I just have one more
Oh,
comment on.
Okay,
on
so it's
this.
something to watch, yes.
So one more comment on this. And I didn't put it down because I didn't get it in writing. And I told the individual, you send it to me in writing and sign it, and I'll be glad to present it. But I'm not presenting stuff that's not in writing. But I will say the concern that was brought up is by the part-time which I represent, is that they pay the same water rates as if they're here all the time. They're only here for 3 months or 4 months. And they
This
pay the
is true.
same, and so and that was a concern, but so I'm just telling you that it's out there.
Mhm.
But if I get it in writing, then I'll bring, and he signs it, I'll bring it to this committee. But so when you're looking at raising the rates again for that, think about how it impacts a lot of the taxpayers here that are only up here half a year or a quarter of a year. That's something to think about.
Well, that's kind of the same thing that happens with electricity rates, and water rates. It's not like they turn off the service when you're not here, and it has to be available when you come back. So what do you do in
Right.
the meantime? Electricity still has to flow, the water still has to
Right.
flow.
So you pay a
You're
minimum.
basically, you're paying.
You'll pay the minimum.
Yeah.
if
So,
you
but when you're
don't
thinking
use
about
it.
raising the rates and
Yes.
adding on the recycling,
There'll
just
still be a
remember,
minimum.
that was out there, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, my understanding is there'll still be a minimum and then it will go up $10 every so many gallons. Am I right? Is that
Yeah.
typically how it works? Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Rudy, to your point, we're in Florida, no matter whether you're there, I leave my house on Anna Maria Island, you get charged the basic
Yeah.
rate.
Yeah.
If you don't have a usage above so many gallons, then you get the basic rate. It's everywhere. You don't get to not get a bill.
Let me tell you, it's,
It's,
yeah, sorry.
Even
So
if you
you
turn
don't
your water
get-
off.
and let me
Yeah.
tell you, we had a farm in Dade City for 35 years. We took our own trash. I had restaurants. My brother-in-law took the trash to the restaurant dumpster. We got charged every single month. They didn't care whether you said, the garbage service said, I don't ever have a trash can at the street, which we didn't. But it didn't matter. You still got charged. And not only that, talk about recycle and whatever. They have something, look up Pasco County, Florida, and I'm sure it's more. They have something called a solid waste assessment. And that's to run these plants. So you pay your garbage and now you get surcharged. My restaurant last year, $12,000. I've sold, fortunately, the business. Their waste to solid waste assessment was $12,000 in November
Wow.
for the solid waste assessment. So this is on top of your every month trash bill. So this, I don't know who's complaining, but you really have to look around to see that this is the cheapest place going.
Well,
Well,
they-
and that's, I was just gonna say, the redeeming factor there is like, I just bought a house down on Skidaway Island in Savannah, and the water bills there are insane compared to here. And, but you know, where they get you is the waste, to your point,
There you go.
in a different way, though, the water, the disposal fee.
Oh,
And see,
yes.
here, you don't have that. And so that's what really makes it evident. It is the best deal going.
And that would have been, and we would probably have been paying that if we had the solicitors.
And if we did-
Wastewater.
Oh,
Yeah, we would,
absolutely.
we would.
Right.
It was required in the grants even to include the wastewater feature.
And that's such a racket. I mean,
Go ahead. Do we have concrete numbers on the cost of recycling versus the cost of trash versus like, I think I had heard somewhere that like the public works employees have had like cuts and workers' comp and overtime, and it takes like days after the trash comes on Mondays to sort the recycling. And part of that is, well, first, I guess I'll let you answer that question.
Yeah, Jason could best answer. He's answered that.
We
for me.
really haven't gone that deep as far as how much is of trash versus recycling. I mean, I can give it to you in terms of man hours from that standpoint, but, we, in a perfect world, we do trash one day a week, so you would say, okay, there's 5 work days. So we have half of our staff, 20% of their work week is involved with trash. In the dead of winter, when a lot of folks aren't here, it is a one-day event. If people are doing like they're supposed to do and separating things out and cleaning out all the bottles, and they're not dealing with trying to pick around broken glass, it's a one-day event. Summertime, it can take, if we do it right, and we always try to do right, it can, Monday can spill into Tuesday, can spill into Wednesday. And so, and of course, when those guys are tied up doing that, they're not cutting grass or not trimming all of the other things that need to be done. So, but, and then there's, the other costs associated. We had a dedicated truck that literally we ran it. They always say, I'm gonna drive it till the wheels fall off. We drove it till the wheels fell off. And, so we've been using another vehicle. So, and again, it's a cost cutting measure, but, trash, to kind of add on that, that we had some discussion a couple of years ago. It never made it to the council, but we had, at the staff level, we reached out to some private companies just to kind of get an idea of, what it may look like if we ever want to try to privatize that. And from what I learned, of course, this is 3 years ago, so I'm sure it's more by now. But the first thing they would say is, what do you charge a month for trash? And I said, well, we charge $23 for trash and recycling. They said, and recycling? I said, yeah. And they said, our flat, the break even is 25 just for trash.
Exactly.
And so we're already undercharging that. So, we can certainly run some numbers, but just from a 10,000 foot elevation conversation piece, just, if we probably should be at $25 if we're just doing trash.
Mhm.
And we're doing 23 for both.
getting trash for free, you know?
Well, and just to
Yeah.
throw this idea out, in many municipalities where we own property, that you have cardboard only as recycling. You have a cardboard dumpster next to restaurant dumpsters, next to your business dumpster, only cardboard.
That's how it is where I live.
See, and the reason is, I have to believe, after hearing all this discussion, it's cost prohibitive, it's a workers' comp issue, it's you, and I know that when it was said in the beginning that with the new council that we're not gonna have recycling anymore, that was like, oh my gosh, such a backlash. But the thing is, people really don't understand the nuances of all this. And to your point, you're saying to this guy, let us know, put it in writing. Well, I truly believe you can look at cardboard only, there's no workers' comp issues there, you you'd have to break down your boxes and put them in the thing. The rest of it, how much does it take to throw empty bottles and cans and go down and recycle it?
Yeah, and herein lies the problem. People won't break down their boxes. They'll just put full boxes out there, at the
Exactly.
curb and
But
things.
see-
So people don't cooperate really well. I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is definitely something that we need to watch. The previous administration, like you said, you were looking into some things, but it's a hot button around the whole country, this recycling
Absolutely.
nightmare, and not to even mention the landfills are becoming a huge issue as well. And there's even talk about, are there or ecological ways to burn, to go back to burning trash like the rest of the world does, I guess. Not necessarily eco-friendly though, but let's remember the name Kent Warner. That's as our commissioner in Rabun County, dealing with recycling and alternatives and benchmarks and what he's gonna run on. Let's pay attention to what happens there. When is he running again?
And no,
I
in
thought
November,
November,
he'll be
yeah.
running in,
I
well,
thought
so the prime, he is, it is a contested primary, so if there's an
Oh,
election, May
okay.
19th,
Okay,
and if there's a runoff, that'll be June 17th, and then, I
Okay.
don't know if there's a Democrat against whoever wins.
okay. So
But-
it is something as citizens that we need to keep an eye on, because it will impact us, what happens in Rabun County and what they run on and what they're saying they want us to do or to assess back to us, or where our trash is gonna have to go.
Constituents, you know?
Yeah, it is. We're constituents for sure. So,
And if I may
Yeah,
just
sure,
add,
sure.
he said that if anybody wants to reach out to him to talk more about this, he'd be
Okay.
happy to. And he had also said he would look into getting a covered,
I was going to say that, Maybe, one of the things that, and
oh, that's right.
Again, this was brought up probably about this time last year with the Area Council. We had talked about doing pretty much what they do at Raven Gap, which is, we call it centralized recycling. Meaning you got bins for glass, plastic, et cetera. And, I know there were some concerns with some of the prior council members about maybe that might be a reduction in service, because you may have somebody that can't bring it, they can't take it to the facility. But, our thought, or the staff thought was, well, we just kind of saw it as an increase in service, because right now you're limited to a 13-gallon bin one day a week. If we had Raven Gap, they're open from 7 till 7, 6 days a week, 12 to 5. So you got, and it's just as much as you can bring in there.
That's
So-
where I go, I think. Ray.
So, and we even talked about possibly if we had a bin, that, because, if cardboard gets wet, it won't be accepted. So you need a bin that has a roof to it to kind of keep that. And one of the things we did talk about with, Commissioner Warner is maybe, if we could take that down to Raven Gap and Unload It versus going down the Tigers. So, again, there was a lot of good conversation there. No decisions were made, but, that's where it kind of left off.
Oh, can I add
There
one
was
thing
a
that's
Zoom
kind of
call.
related? Or
Yeah, I'm
sorry.
gonna look at that and see.
what's that?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say on the unrelated but related, do you think the council at all would support, an idea to relax the time where you can drop off trash by like an hour or two? Cause I know several residents who have had to kind of delay when they leave because of the bear risk rule as far as depositing trash in the street. And so I feel like it would be a little less encumbering to be able to leave your trash there. I don't know the exact time, but if it's 8, to do it at 6 or
It's from
like,
6 to 8 right now.
okay,
6 in the morning.
6 in the morning.
you could do it at
Yeah.
5, like.
Is
I
that
think-
correct, Jason?
It is 6 to 8 because I called.
Yeah, because I talked to you
called
about.
this- I called.
So I think there's a little bit of confusion with that. We do have a trash ordinance. And you need to have your trash out no earlier than 6 AM. It doesn't have to be out by 6. It just cannot be put out any earlier than 6 AM. And we start trash at 8 o'clock. So, but obviously, usually we start on the Winding Ridge, we kind of work our way into the city proper. But to guarantee that your trash will be picked up, meaning that we don't, because if the guys go by and it's not there, we're not gonna go up knocking your door, hey, you got trash.
Mhm.
It's like a school bus, you got a route, we just keep on going. But we tell people that have it out by 8 o'clock, the guarantee is picked up. But, we do that though because of the animals, because we don't wanna have a situation where maybe you've got a weekend, maybe somebody has a weekend home and they came up here and they leave at
Sunday.
seven o'clock at night. you know?
Happens to me,
Yeah.
until it happened to me with VRBO next door to me, constant. I'm not picking up garbage, constant. This past year now, I didn't have to do it because that ordinance was in place.
When we updated the fee schedule back in 23, there was a little bit of teeth added to that. So if a bear gets into your trash and trash is thrown everywhere, you have a certain amount of time to get that up. And if not, the city will come clean it up at $100 an hour. And we just add it to your bill. So, hopefully that's been a little bit of a.
Since that's, well, this last year, we didn't have the problem.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, again,
almost every weekend we have. the
If
problem.
anybody sees this now or may watch this in the future, you don't have to have the trash out, by 6, it just needs, it cannot be put out before 6.
That's what I.
8 o'clock is the time, and so.
But do you think it would increase the bear risk too much if you move the earliest permissible hour to put it out up by an hour from 6 to 5? Just because if you look at the time it takes to get to Atlanta, fight traffic, a lot of these, I mean, this
Yeah, I
is
used to
in a
have to
way
leave
a
at
bedroom
5
community.
When I had my office in Atlanta.
I mean,
Can't you take your trash to that dumpster on Knob?
Oh, I guess you could.
I mean, that's,
You can.
guess what? We do it all the
I
time.
do it a lot.
Or even
but-
on your
And
way
I
out.
see
Never use
people
the trash
riding down the
system.
hill
Yeah.
with their
Or
trash
use it,
bag
yeah.
hanging out their door.
And then the
they're
other
riding down
solution
the
is
hill.
you can put something in the ground, but that's just expensive. I feel like, I don't know if it wouldn't, just an idea.
Yeah, or they could stop by. Well, no,
Well,
they're
you
not
know,
open either.
because it's
at that
closed.
hour.
We're going home this afternoon and I dropped my trash off before I came here.
Yeah,
Or I just take
yeah,
it to
we
the.
kind of do that too. We
The,
just
the only,
do it as we know.
nobody's gonna be here at 5:59.
Mhm.
Look,
You know, you put your trash out before 6, but, you know, of course, and obviously the bears don't keep track either, but, it's, but
Smart bears.
It's more of a, it is an ordinance, but, it's really to try to protect the homeowner as
Got
well,
it.
so you don't wanna,
Be out dragging trash and have a bear out there.
yeah.
If
Yeah,
I can also
You're
add
right.
one thing,
Yeah.
the gentleman that lives next door to Jeanette and Gordon Brand, he got up at a meeting last summer or fall and said he was the head of recycling for Highlands, and he knows all about it. So I would say, I just was trying to text Gordon and Jeanette to see what the guy's name is, that he stood up, and I think he would be a guy to tap, because he touted that he knows everything there is to know about it, because we aren't unique. And this is what I'm not sure the Sky Valley residents realize when they're lash out so quickly at people, that we're not unique here. I mean, this is a problem everybody has.
yeah. it's-
And how much it costs and what you do about it and
Yeah.
the rules and regs, it's everywhere.
Yeah, Gail, if you'll commit to getting that guy's name to me so
I'll
that
do
we can all
That'd be great.
know at the next meeting,
Yeah.
if not before,
Yeah.
okay?
You're right. I mean, all these
I can
plateau
send it out to you.
communities are
I'll
having
send
to
it.
deal with similar issues in
Exactly.
that
Okay,
regard.
and I'll send, or you can send it to this group too, but you can send it to me and I'll make sure the committee gets it.
And it might be that they see this message before. I leave.
Yeah. That'd be good.
I have
Yes,
one
ma'am.
quick question. I
Okay.
don't know if this is even possible, but I'm just thinking of a way to please everybody, people who are against recycling and people who are very passionate for recycling. If trash and recycling is $23, is there a way to like opt into recycling? So people who want recycling could maybe pay an extra $10 or $20 a month, and if you don't want recycling, then you pay the $23 a month?
I like that, Kelsey.
And I know cities have done that.
I like
You
that.
don't
Yeah.
have to recycle in a
That,
Great
dumpster.
idea.
that has
Yeah,
been
Where we
discussed. I think one of the issues you run into is, I'm just gonna be honest with you, we've got, our residents expect a lot, and then you pay a lot of taxes. And if somebody puts their recycling out, more likely we're gonna pick it up, whether they pay it or not. I'm just being honest with you.
Right, yeah.
And so if you have, and then you have a situation where, I know they're not paying $10 for recycling, but you pick the recycling up. Because we know if we don't pick it up, if there's peanut butter in that jar, the bear's gonna get into it. It kind of puts, I mean, there's work throughs, but those are some of the challenges
True.
we have to work through is, because because we do offer like a backdoor service, for example, for trash.
Mhm.
If somebody, so that may be an option there, but yeah, I think we would just have to try to figure that out, because you kind of put the trash guy in a situation is, they're already on a pretty tight schedule. Well, okay, well, 99 such and such street, do they, do they pay for recycling, so I guess.
I think it's doable.
Yeah.
I think it's doable. I think with AI and technology, I'm not the person for it, but there are ways to generate, like on their phone, it could be like GPS recorded and,
Like the post
yes,
office
and
has,
then, correct. And then basically if someone has their recycling out, the city picks it up and boom, they get a fine if they're not on the list.
Yeah, you're certainly.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Address.
And that
yeah.
way you're meeting.
Everybody's happy.
You're making everybody happy.
My suggestion
Yes,
is
this could be
opt-in
on our
for
trash
recycling
people.
and like
Well, it don't
everybody
have to be,
pays
if
20
you
for
use what
trash,
you
and
said.
then if you want recycling,
But they
you
will
have
actually
to spend
have a list.
$20 for them to pick it up.
There's
Just have
the address.
it.
I think that's great. I mean,
Now,
if
we
you want
had
an extra
someone
service,
on
then-
Zoom that wanted to share something, did we?
Robert Small.
Yeah, I was trying to read his question, he may just want to answer it, I'm not the
Does
Zoom
anyone
guru
on
like
Zoom want to
Sharon
share
is.
something, or?
It said something about, we had an in-depth discussion on this in the facilities meeting or something.
I don't know if he wants
Oh,
to,
yes, public
if he can
works and
ask the question,
facilities, and then the planning retreat,
Yeah.
we're discussing this.
Yeah, so
we're not changing
again,
it, so
we
that's
can
good.
make a recommendation, to look at it, but I don't think we're at that point. We have a
Yeah.
specific recommendation, but it's something to continue to talk on. We can put that on the next agenda as well. But
so this.
by next
this
agenda,
time I go to-
we might know Kent Warner and where he stands
Mhm.
and other candidates, so, okay.
You can go to
Is there
the other, go to
anyone?
my meetings,
Oh.
the first one,
The first tab.
and then click on 1 o'clock, Sky Valley Advisory. Right there, join.
Well, I'm already joined, I'm trying to figure out where it went.
Down low, see
Where
where
it
that
says
13 is?
Right here.
Hover over that, there they are.
There it is. Yeah, that's what
Meaning, there we are, okay, yeah, there you go.
well,
Oh, there you go, there you go.
every time I try to find this question, I was.
Okay, it might have been he wants us to move on.
Okay, now, all right, if there's nothing else there, great discussion, great ideas. Number 11, the city sales tax, we don't have any currently proposed consideration or a discussion, and Kelsey, I'm gonna let you take it from here. Kelsey. just
My
wanted to
idea
talk about it.
was, I heard a lot of people very concerned for the city finances about if this development does not go through, how do we increase revenue for the city? We don't have many residents in the city, so my idea when I proposed this agenda item was, how do we tax the people from Atlanta, from Florida, that don't stay in Sky Valley, that don't own property in Sky Valley? It was not an attack on the country club. It was, hey, what would a 1% city sales tax look like? Per Benita's advice, after I had proposed the agenda item, Benita said, hey, do your research, not sure if that's possible, and it's not really possible,
Not even possible.
so null and
Moot
void.
point.
And
Moot
I
point.
would like to add though, for any tax, like I just read in the paper today that Raven County's going up to 8%. They didn't say really go into depth, what they're using it for.
Well,
I know it's probably for Boston, I'm guessing, but let me finish. I don't think you could sell a tax to the people here unless you could tell them what's the money gonna be used for.
Yeah, sure.
Why would we just raise the tax to have a tax? What's the money gonna be used for? That's all.
the
We have
8% was the T-Splosh, and then it's when the last T-Splosh ended, that collection stopped, but now that it's started back up, it was 8% for, so that 1% is the T-Splosh that's starting back up, because it is just a continuation, but there was a little bit of pause there where one ended and one begins.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Okay, so, there's no discussion there. Number 13, a 5, 10, or 15.
12.
Well,
Oh, the pedestrian, I put the notes on the wrong one. Sorry, thank you, keep me in line. Number 12, improving pedestrian safety and walkways in Sky Valley. So go ahead, Kelsey, I know you wanted to talk about
This was another one of my agenda items, and I believe it is very important for longevity to be able to walk And it's one of the best things humans can do. It's reciprocal motion. It's what we were made to do. If you go on the Appalachian Trail, you'll see many people in their 80s walking the entire trail. It is one of the best things we can do for heart health, for overall health. And many people, I work with tons of clients in Sky Valley, and many people say there's nowhere for them to walk that's flat ground or that they feel safe. The only walking that many people say is safe is, I believe it's Merrill's property across from the mailboxes, that is gravel. Gravel is a fall risk. That is an unsteady surface that increases fall risk. And I believe our population is 65 and older mostly. So I would like to not improve Merrill's property unless the city buys that, and then maybe we could asphalt that, but explore options of expanding the road, as I believe our public works people have all the trucks, all the equipment for asphalt, like you guys are doing way up in the mountain, widening the roads. What would it look like with the T-Splost money, the entrance to the mailbox, creating maybe not a bike lane, which is typically like 5 to 7 to 8 feet. I was researching, we lived in Oregon, and Oregon has bike lanes absolutely everywhere. You can
Out
bike
west.
to work out west. They do a phenomenal job, and people are outside walking on bikes and all kinds of things. So my ideas were on the way to the waterfall, from the front entrance to the mailbox, walking by the country club, that front road where the speed limit is 15 in front of the pool and country club. People go 50 miles an hour. I walk there often and constantly jump into a ditch, have rolled my ankle because there are F-150s just flying by me, and I do not feel safe, and I'm pretty young and agile.
So yesterday, because this was on the agenda, Dolly and I went, and we walk anyway, but we went and we walked on the trail, which I think was a complete waste of money, because you couldn't walk on it. We ended up walking. on the
Which trail, Rudy?
The
trail
gravel.
that across from the post office.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
correct.
gravel.
And,
It
and,
is hard to
and,
walk.
and the
We
bridge,
do it
we
too.
walked across the bridge twice. And I don't think there's maintenance to that bridge since it was put up. I always called it the bridge to nowhere, because I didn't think you could just walk a little more, you didn't have to have that bridge. But it's gonna be, the bridge is gonna be a safety hazard unless something's done to it, and I don't know but if there's any plans for that. But that walking path, it should have been, if they were gonna do it, they should have done it with asphalt, because the gravel it is, we end up walking on the road.
Yep.
Or the grass.
Or the grass, cause
me too.
it's not safe.
Is
And I also can testify that in the summer I walked to the pool for Aquanuts. And it is unsafe on that main drag going in, because it's, so she has what she's saying is, that would be a good use of.
People do drive to.
And it's a thing.
So my question is, T-Splost money, is that something we could look into expanding from the front entrance to the mailbox even, or
Yeah,
towards the
there's
waterfall?
several funding options, SPOS, T-SPOS, LMIG funding. That would just be something that, it would be, I would say it would be probably council driven. You know, if this committee had a recommendation, advisory,
Mhm.
you know, what we would just do is we would put that out to bid, and then, we do on that right away. If you're talking about putting sidewalks,
Yes.
Sidewalks would be great, but
Yeah.
if sidewalks are too
Greenway,
expensive, then just, I was thinking even just widening the road, that's what Out West does, and they have it paved as a bike trail, but it's asphalt, it's all
Yeah,
the
the
same.
shoulder's bigger, and that
The
is a
shoulder.
thing, cause I'm
There's
on,
no shoulder.
yeah, none. I'm on the county road that comes into the resort, and like, it is dangerous to even try to walk my dog there. I
Yes.
mean, the traffic is insane.
Yes,
And it's just, you don't feel safe.
Yeah,
no.
so the traffic needs to probably be addressed as well.
So can I make
They
a
did
motion
put
to
traffic.
bring to the council to use T-Splost money, or to get quotes or look at expanding the road from the entrance to the mailbox and the entrance to the waterfall?
You sure can. You can make that.
I'd like to add to that,
Go for it.
under discussion, first you made a motion, we have to have a second, and we do have.
Yeah, we need
Second
to,
that.
so give us your formal motion again.
I would like a motion to bring to the council that T-Splost money is used to widen the roads from the front entrance to the mailbox and the front entrance to the waterfall.
I second that.
Okay, now let's have more discussion. I wanted to share too, I just wanted a point of clarification. So that current, the doggy thing with the trash bags in it and the gravel pathway around the creek and a little bit of a waterfall. And that bridge is Merrill's?
It
I
is-
thought that was
it's Merrill's
cities.
as well.
Oh,
We-
okay, I don't know why I thought that.
Merrill owns that area, he owns the falls, he owns the overlook. We have maintenance agreements with them that we maintain that area. Probably one of the reasons why it hasn't been, sidewalk or concreted is because we don't own it. Because I guess the biggest concern would be if, we did that and then sometime, because there are outs for him, for example, you know, he decides he wants to develop that area, that property.
Yeah,
Those leases are not in perpetuity, so,
okay.
but, yeah, but he does own that property there.
What are the
So,
leases?
sorry, the concern that I have when I was walking on that yesterday, and I'm still pretty agile, even though I'm an old guy. Although she thinks I can be more agile when I go to her class. But anyway, if somebody falls on that gravel, which they could sue us, they could sue the city, or would they sue Merle?
Would they
It's his
see Merrill
property.
as his
I don't
property?
know, but I
We're
just-
not leasing it back from him right now, are we?
We are.
Are we leasing that gravel path, that area from Merrill?
Yeah, that property, it's
That's-
a very loose agreement too, that goes back many.
Problem is they'd sue both because they'd say the city didn't maintain it, right?
And
You know,
and before I.
be co-defendants.
Before I
Is it an
dumped the
option?
trash, before I dumped the trash coming over here, there was a lady out there walking, and she was walking on the street, or on the grass part, like we did,
That's
she
what
wasn't
I
walking
do,
on that
yeah.
gravel.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just raised that concern that, is there any liability on our part if they fall in that gravel, that's all.
We need to find that out. Also, the covered bridge up here by the overlook,
Yes.
we lease that back yearly as well from Merrill. And as you know, there's a big chasm on both sides
Yes.
of that, and I see people with toddlers
Yeah,
up there all the
different
time.
stuff.
Yeah,
It
people
really
climb
concerns
down,
me.
and used to be a little balance beam looking.
I used to walk
you know,
across the
board.
Now that's gone, so it's just a
It's
big.
just
Are we
open
still
now.
And they
leasing that?
throw their toddlers up
Are
there.
we still leasing that?
Yeah.
I've seen
Yes.
dogs
That
jump
is
down
such a-
there.
That's what
What
he
a
was saying, it's
nightmare.
a loose
What a
agreement.
liability.
Yeah,
So has Merrill or has the city
So,
ever tried
our
to buy
recommendation.
any of that property from Merrill? Is he willing to sell any of that, like the gravel pathway right across from the pickleball? Could the city offer Merrill buying that land and then we use our,
Let's hold that thought, because I think we got two different things going on. Let's see, is there any more discussion about paving, the motion on the floor, paving from the front entrance to the mailboxes and back? Is there any other discussion on that? Let's go ahead and vote on taking that as a recommendation to the council. Anything else?
to the
on that?
mailbox and waterfall?
Mailbox, oh, and waterfall and back. And waterfall. That would take care of it. I'm sorry, I had it wrong. All right, then, all those in favor?
I,
Opposed? All right, we'll
That
take
would
that.
probably be something that we would have to look at next budget year to program that in, but.
Yeah, but we can take the recommendation, have it
Yeah,
on
so
the,
I'm just saying because those collections will start back in June. But as we get into 2027, we should start having some build up there that, of reserve because we get that allocation every month, so.
okay.
So hopefully by this time next year, we'll be talking about, a lot better financial position on the T-Splosh account than we are now.
All right, now let's go on to what you were talking about, what we all were starting to get into, which is the property that's owned by Merrill, what is our liabilities? So that, may be something else we want to take to the council and ask them to look into through our attorney, what are our liabilities, if any? And I think it's 3 areas that I know of, which would be the big covered bridge by the, by the overlook and the gravel park by the mailboxes. So what are our liabilities? Is that something
Does
we
this-
want to ask?
does the city maintain Mud Creek Falls Trail? Or is that,
Mhm,
okay,
yes.
We did.
I was just curious.
And that's ours.
Mm-mm,
No.
it's
The whole
Merrill's.
trail is Merrill's.
The city maintains Merrill's property.
I got that.
And what
right.
is the loose agreement?
Well, I mean, we have lease agreements. I'm not an attorney, so I don't know if loose is the right word, but we do have agreements and some of them, we've got to file with those. I mean, it would probably be something that Mr. Kidd could probably better elaborate on than us, but to answer your question about his property, about purchasing, are we ready to go there?
Yes,
There is a piece of property that we have, reached out to the son, Harrison Jr. It's the 5 acres there on Nile Drive by Well 8. We had that property surveyed, we've had it appraised. They have a plan for Sky Valley. They haven't really shared what that plan is, or when I say their acreage. He's been very reluctant to, when I told him we would like to buy that 5 acres, basically what was said to me is I need to run that by my team. We're kind of, I think they're trying, I guess, what am I trying to say? I think they're just reluctant to sell anything because they're afraid that they may want to use it sometime in the future, so. That would be a conversation probably Mr. Merrill could answer, but I could just say that from having conversations, he didn't say no, but he just said I would need to run that by my team. So,
And up on Knob Drive, what would that 5 acres?
Public Works, that would be a place that ultimately I think we could move Public Works to, because right now with it being here down on 246, we spend so much time just going back and forth. It would really be, now we do use that facility some now in the burn pit there. We have a lease agreement with him to do that. But that's where Well 8's at. And as the city is growing organically, we need a place to store pipe. We need a place to store equipment. We need a place that maybe we might even could build a public works facility, because again, it's kind of that area of the city is kind of out of sight a little bit there. People are already aware that that's used for municipal purposes because you've got
They have a gate there.
the well, the gates or the wells there. So that would be a logical place to put some type of public works facility. But one of the issues is that it's fairly flat. And so obviously after he's thinking that there'd be use there, but what we have shared with him is that whatever happens with that property, whether he sells it, whether it develops organically, as the city grows, there's an expectation that the city provides service to support that ground, be it additional trash, additional water, whatever the case may be. And we need a location for that. So that's,
okay.
and it's about 5 acres there. So that, we've had those conversations about that. Again, I think he would be receptive to having a conversation. I know that the son is who I have a cordial relationship with. And so anyway, I would say that's probably where we would want to start, probably talk with him about that.
Is there any space that's out of view behind the potential area that you could put a community center? Not like the ski lodge, but is there anything on the other side of the road that has an egress you could use for maintenance?
You talking about
Across from the entrance to the resort? By the blue house, you were talking about those 2 lots.
No, it's pretty built. Those 2 lots are really the only 2 lots that
Got
are available, whether we own them or not.
Got it.
Because that backs up to what we call Sky High, and Sky High is
That's right.
pretty much built out.
Yeah.
So, in fact, there's houses above,
And then it
behind
comes
that property,
yeah,
So,
above it.
Are we looking at 5-year plan now? Because of the streets, I'm sure they're not gonna get done this year. but
Yeah,
The road.
we are at
Is that-
220. The maximum we should go to is 230.
Okay, I just
I
want to bring
will
up.
cut us off at 2:30. We can either table it or we can come in, but before we leave this last one about what are our liabilities, do we need a motion or want to make a motion at this time, at this meeting, to ask the council formally if they would look into that, our
I
liabilities?
make the motion that we look at the liability
Okay,
of the,
okay,
Second.
okay. Any other discussion on that? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we'll make that recommendation to the council as well. So that, I'm thinking for the sake of time, I'm thinking we might need to table that. I earlier told this group before our meetings, last week or week before, whenever it was, that we wanted to talk about the lodge as well.
Yes,
And we tabled that to our next meeting.
that's what I was gonna bring up, so just table it.
Let's table it,
Okay.
because what I'm gonna want to do, what I encourage all of us to do, and the people who are on Zoom, if you would look at what we talked about today and how they fit into a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, or a 15-year plan recommendation we would offer to the council, then we can come back and talk about
Okay.
that at our June meeting. We can also meet before June. We don't have to wait to June if we do want to have a meeting at any time. Any of us can make that suggestion. One other piece of information that I gave to everybody is this little handout, and people on Zoom, you can do this as well. It's real easy to go to, my husband and I have actually done this for years. We used to turn houses in Augusta years ago. His dad was a builder when we lived there, and it's real easy to do. All you have to do is go to, or look, I'm gonna look where did I put my note? Anyway, you just go to Rabun County Tax Assessor. If you just put in those 4 words, and then you can very easily drill down within that by putting in this particular case, it would be Merrill, Merrill, or you put in Sky Valley and Merrill, and it will pull up your, who owns property with those names. And it does pull up the properties that Merrill Trust owns for your information, but specifically, it does pull up parcel number parcel number. Okay, anyway, it pulls up the actual parcel number for Sky Valley's Investors is the name of the group, care of Merrill Trust Group, and it will pull up the lodge with a picture, and it gives you when it's been bought and sold, what it's worth, all of that information, what its square footage is, and it will help us in the discussion. Also, I wanted to let this group know that David Carter and Vicky Carter, who are residents, they have been so gracious, so positive. I inquired with them a month or so ago. They are on a long trip at this point, but of course, David was a lawyer. Vicky's credentials are incredible, real estate wise and such too. And Vicky wants to help us. So she wants to share with us that expertise of what you do with business and commercial law in regards to condemning or how we can work. And of course, our first choice would be to work with Merrill and say, it's got to go. It's already been condemned. I've had 2-3 people confirm that for me years ago. I'm still trying to confirm that, but she asked such great questions. Can it be fixed? Is it unsafe? Does it meet code, or are there code violations? So there's a lot of things that we can recommend to the city. We can do some back work on that. And Vicky in particular, of course, with David's assistance, they're so willing to give us some counsel on that. So it will be May before we can really connect with them, but we will connect with them and see what they would recommend to the advisory committee, which we can then recommend further down the round. Yes.
I'm glad to see you're all over that. Thank you.
Wonderful.
And I have one question. So these different companies that are down here,
Yeah.
are they all different rural companies?
It seems to us amateurs that is the case, but we don't know for sure. You would have to drill down on those grantor and grantee names to know that for sure. But yes, that is what it looks like to us.
Thank you.
And
But
I have a
I don't know that for
question.
sure. But again, they would be professionals that have done this many, many times, would be very helpful to us there.
Since we're tabling the 5, 10, 15-year city plan,
Yeah.
and we want everybody who owns property in Sky Valley to have a voice, what would it look like to create a survey? I'd be happy to create a survey, multiple choice, short answer. I could give it to you or Sharon or you or whoever would send that out, that goes out on Sharon's city communications, that would ask for everybody's input on that.
I like that idea.
I do too.
Yeah,
Go for it and share it with me, and then I can, bring it to the council.
it's a great idea.
Thanks, Kelsey.
Yeah,
CC these folks that are on the committee. and-
We'll do it on our
Nice.
group email.
yes.
Okay. Anything from anyone else before I propose that we go ahead and move on so the next meeting can take
We
place as
gotta break
well.
this down and get set
We've
up.
got to break this.
And I
down.
will keep meetings to an hour and a half. I like an hour 15, but you know, we had a lot the first meeting. and-
Yeah.
and
Thank you,
All
Beth.
good, all
Hey,
good.
Beth, you have a
You
good
did great.
Do we need to have
Thank
a
you.
motion to adjourn?
motion.
Okay,
Second.
Second.
okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay.
I said I this time.
Thank you for
Okay.
running a good meeting.
Yes, thank you, Beth.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you all. And the next meeting is that, have you closed?
Oh,
it?
June, yeah, June 24th.
No.
The cameras.
The
Oh,
next
I'm sorry.
meeting is the